Welcome, loyal fans. Today we race the final race of the Nations Cup. My name is Saul Goodman, and with me today is my ever-loyal companion, Mike Armentrout.
That's right, Saul. Happy to be here today. Lots of people around as well. Whose head are we going to bash in here today?
Now. No need for all that violence today. We are just here to look at a race today.
Okay, I guess. Was kind of looking forward to some more action. Well then, let's look at some information for today's race then. Apparently we are just racing, and we do so on a track called Lago Maggiore. It looks Italian, and I speak second best Italian, so I have no clue how to pronounce this shit.
Can you Americans speak any other language than English?
Well, I speak most Italian, so I'll be your escort. Buongiorno. Grazie.
Right. I'm no expert either, so let's just move on to the car to use. Once again, there is a choice of several GT3 cars, but one of them is way ahead on the leaderboards again. And that is the BMW M6.
That settles the car. The qualification will last for 7 minutes. And then we have a pretty long race of 30 laps ahead of us to race.
In that race, only the racing soft slick tires can be used. Once again, there is no mandatory pit stop, but we know the deal with these softs.
Indeed, most people cannot manage their tires well enough to make them last half a race, so a stop will be the most popular choice. But if you look after your tires, the one stop can be faster. And I know Dornov has practiced this and wants to use the one-stop strategy.
Well, good luck to him. In practice, his fastest time was a 1 minute 55.471. That was a pretty fast lap, so his aim will be anything in the 1 minute 56 range, I assume.
Well, enough of the talking. Let's get some action and bash some heads in.
You mean start racing?
Oh yeah, racing. Whatever. Looks like we have some highlight races to look at first.
Well, taken out by another Dutchie. How sad. And not even a penalty given for that hit even.
Look, it's a German Polizei going to overtake.
Oh, crikey, it's the Rozzers.
He has already fallen back to 12th place in all this mayhem. Remember the Dutch guy called Mitch that did not get a penalty for taking Dornov out. Now take a look at this guy at the start. A 5-second penalty for barely hitting someone, and he wasn't even the one taking that driver out. The GT7 penalty system at its finest.
We jump to lap 8 where we see Dornov catching up to 9th place.
There goes our friend Mitch again. You can't see it, but I'm making air quotes.
Thanks! Love you! Forever!
After getting back on track and making his pit stop, Dordenhof is now in 12th place. He once again found someone to overtake.
A bit too much defending on the inside from the other guy. Easy pass like this.
Fast forward to lap 20. Dordenhof is now in 9th, and all the drivers who are going to make the stops are now coming in.
All the way up to 4th for now. But some of them have come out right behind him on brand new tires.
In lap 28, we take a look at the Russian in 3rd place who was being chased by Mitch.
Classy overtake from Mitch once again. And some more bad luck to follow for the Russian. There goes his podium.
Eventually, we arrive at the final stretch before the finish line. A few drivers with fresher tires have overtaken him, but Dordenhof still manages to grab an 8th place. His tires are now completely worn out. And we have another highlight race. Qualifying was completely ruined by a spin in traffic, so he has to start way back in 13th place. And we all know what that means. Mayhem.
Words cannot describe the amount of mayhem in these corners. I have seen hobos living in the sewers that are cleaner than the racing on display here. A big battle in front here. Let's see if he can't take advantage of that.
Unfortunate. That one was completely his own fault, though. Too early on the gas while still having a lot of steering info. It's going to be quite a challenge to salvage this race.
Fallen all the way to last place now. Well, let's take this race as a learning experience and see where it ends up.
We jump to lap 3, where there is a big fight going for the much desired 15th place of the race.
Sadly, he couldn't hang on to that glamorous 15th place for long, but at least he lives to fight another day this time.
In lap 8, Dordanelf and Eagle have caught up to Fighter in 12th place. Let's see if he can make an overtake this time.
Big mistake by the donkey.
Superstar!
It's lap 9 and things are looking up. Let's see what this video segment brings. A few laps later after that mishap, and it's time for a pit stop.
He comes out all the way in last place, but if he gets some clean air now, he can hopefully make up some ground compared to the others that still have to make a stop.
Lap 20 and he is already back in 7th due to a few pit stops from others. Now the last batch is coming in for their stops.
Up to 5th he goes, but we know the deal now. Others behind have way fresher tires. Hopefully pace is good enough.
And we arrive at the last lap. There was one faster driver that got through, but he secures a 6th place nonetheless.
Not too shabby considering he was in last place a few times during this race, even up to halfway of the race after his last pit stop. Well, looks like those last races gave enough rating to bump him to driver rating A. Even though they were only in 8th and 6th place, it's still in the top half of the field and will yield a positive rating.
Very nice. Now his rating shows he can truly race with the big boys.
Agreed. Now he just has to prove that in a race. On to the next one.
All right, here we are for the main event. As we can see by the point total, these lobbies keep getting better and better.
That's a lot of points indeed. Let's see if he can get a decent qualifying result.
Can we at least speed through the qualifying? I have some heads I need to bash in after this race.
You are quite the character, Mike. Okay, I'll allow it. Fifth place, not terrible, especially considering lobbies are getting stronger and last race was a terrible 13th start position. And have a look at the insane speed of the guy on pole. Almost a second faster than the number 2. Unreal.
Nice going. I still need to bash some heads in later, so let's move on to the race.
Oof. That was some terrible misjudgment from Dordinoff there. Luckily, nobody spun out. Let's take a closer look at that.
Yeah, that was rather bad. Didn't result in a big crash, luckily. Let's hope Steve doesn't have a temper and retaliate from this.
Big group of cars right behind him. If he doesn't pull a gap soon, that will spell trouble.
He seems to be pulling away a bit, so that's positive. The action has already slowed a bit after the first lap. We will jump to the next action. Near the end of lap 3, the French drivers Yannick and Lycor have caught up with Dordenov. What follows is a very nice section with awesome close racing.
Encourage me, my friend.
Both of the baguettes have now overtaken Dordenov. But this is from the end of this fight.
Looks like Dordenov deliberately eases off the gas and doesn't try to overtake. If he wants to make the one-stop work, he is better off working with the fast drivers in front of him rather than fight them. As long as they don't hold him up and cost him pace, he can try to save some tires and profit of their slipstream.
Seeing as Dordino is not trying to overtake, there will not be a lot of action unless one of the drivers in front makes a mistake. We will leave in the entire section until the first pit stops for the people who enjoy nice racing section.
And there is the mistake by Y-Core. Dordino moves back up and forth. Now let's see if he can catch up to Yannick as well, as it seems that his pace is dropping off a bit.
He's definitely gaining on Yannick now. Looks like he might be struggling with his tires. This could indicate Yannick is going to make the stops.
He nearly lost control there, nice recovery, but that does mean Wycor drives right past. And the position is gained right back here as Wycor misses the apex.
A little defensive driving is needed here to not lose a position to the cars right behind.
Pit stops are going to be made for drivers that are not on the one-stop strategy in this or the following lap. Let's take a look at the tire situation for the drivers in this fight. It seems Wycor's tires are pretty much gone. An extra stop for him is a no-brainer. Yannick's tires are a little better, but I don't think he will make another 5 to 6 laps on these. For Dordanov and Stevie, the tires are much better. They should be able to manage a one-stop here. And here we have confirmation of Yannick making multiple stops. He has just pulled into the pits. And while we were busy talking about tire degradation, Stevie was busy plotting on overtake on Dordanov. And as we can see here, there is another contender. Wycor is also looking for an overtake.
Wycor manages the overtake as well. Pretty amazing considering the state of his tires we just saw. But we do know he needs to make a stop soon, so we can just let him go for now. All Dordanov has to do now is keep good pace and get close to Stevie if he can. Let's jump forward to their pit stops at the halfway point. Here we are at lap 14. Both Dordanov and Stevie are looking to make their pit stops. Pace has been more or less the same for these two. Let's see where they end up after their stops. They dropped to 6th and 7th. That's not too bad, especially considering the expectation is a few in front need to make another stop. We know at least Yannick and Wycor need to make another stop, and they are currently in P3 and 4. Let's jump forward to the next action. We check back in for some action in lap 18. Dordanov and Stevie are hunting for Cotton in 5th place. We do assume he needs to make another stop, but we can't be held up too long by stragglers.
little moment for Cotton. Let's see how that plays out.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Looks like Dordenov made this stick and Cotton moved to the outside line. I think this one is in the bag. On a lap 20 where we expect the last round of pit stops to be made. Let's see what they bring us.
But he jumps to fourth with the Hungarian coming out of the pits right in front of him. He was already way ahead and now on fresher tires. All that can be done is try to follow as close as possible.
We jump forward almost 2 laps to see fast as fuckboy Beaker also come out of the pits right in front. He was on a weird strategy and made his second stop in lap 22.
He came out right behind Stevie though. We can always hope for some shenanigans if people get into fights with each other. Well, you call for shenanigans and they happen right away.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
I'm sure Dordenov won't mind the free position gain, but let's take a look at the replay and see what happened.
Well, that was really weird. That looked like shenanigans indeed.
You mean shenanigans?
Even though he just gained a position, there is already someone lurking to steal that position right away. We know why Kor has made another stop and is on much better tires now. Sadly, Dordenov shouldn't defend too hard now, or he will risk losing more positions in the end if he destroys his tires. For now, you will just let him go.
We jump to lap 27 where we see a fight unfold between Beager and the Hungarian with a name I can't pronounce. Let's take a look how they manage this.
That was a pretty cool and rather clean fight up until the moment the Hungarian made a mistake. Pretty cool to see. There was quite a lot of good racing going on today everywhere.
We jump to the last lap where we see Dordenov still in fourth place. His tires are hanging on for dear life, and Stevie is lurking in the mirrors behind. But his tires are, of course, equally worn. Let's take a ride in this final lap to finish off this final race of the Nations Cup with a good result.
Well, that's a nice fourth place after all. Took a few races to get there, and it's noticeable the opposition is getting stronger as well.
As long as these stronger opponents go hand in hand with good racing like in this race, I'm sure Dordenov won't mind. This was a very enjoyable race, I think. Looking at the points for this lobby, we can see that this fourth place is worth 137 points. That is even more than the 135 points for the second place in the previous race.
Wow, that will help for the final ranking as well, I reckon. Speaking of which, editing of this video took so long the round is finished by now. Let's take a look at the final results. Would you look at that? Managed to finish first in the Netherlands in the GT2 class, and even 25th in the region. Next cup he will need to race in the GT1 class now. He is an rated driver, but this is an awesome way to finish this cup.
Thank you for watching all our cup races. We will probably see you again for the next cup, whenever that may be. Now it's time for me to finally bash in some heads.
Mike and his violent behavior. I prefer the talkative approach. If you ever need a lawyer, you know who to call.
Recently lost a loved one in an aviation disaster? Have you suffered injury, shock to the senses, or property damage as a result of airplane debris or, God forbid, falling body parts? Then call me, Saul Goodman. It goes without saying that the 6, 7, perhaps even 8-figure cash settlement that I can win for you will never fill the hole in your heart caused by your tragic loss. But you deserve justice. So if you want to tip the scales back in your favor, better call Saul.
Saul Goodman, attorney at law, 505-503-4455. Say last menu.